Hey guys, welcome back to the Python series, and today we're going to be learning about type conversion in Python. So let's dive right in. So what is type conversion? Type conversion is the process of converting a value from one data type to another. Alright guys, let's start by seeing how we can convert numbers into strings. So we'll start by creating a variable, let's call it age, and we'll set it equal to the number, let's say 17. And let's create another variable, let's call it GPA, and we'll set it equal to the number 3.8. Now guys, a quick reminder, whole numbers in Python are known as the int or integer data type, while decimal numbers are known as the float data type. So let's create a sentence using these two variables that we created. So we'll type print, and now we will have a string. So we'll say my name is Ben, full stop. Let's say I space, and then we'll say plus or age variable plus. We'll have another string. We'll say space years old, full stop. My GPA is space, then we'll say plus or GPA variable, and now we'll save our code. And now we will run our code, and you guys will realize that we'll get an error. So there it is, type error can only concatenate str not into str. And why did we get an error? That's because whenever we're trying to combine or concatenate a string data type with a number, we need to convert that number into a string data type. And that is where type conversion comes into play. So to convert a number into a string in Python, we can use the str function. So we'll go right beside our age variable and we'll just type str, and then inside of these parentheses we'll put our age variable. Now we'll do this for our GPA variable. So we'll type str and we'll put our GPA inside of these parentheses. And now we'll save our code, and now we'll run it. And you'll see we get, no, my name is Ben, I am 17 years old, my GPA is 3.8. And we solved the type conversion error, guys. And that is your first type conversion in Python. Now guys, we can also convert strings into numbers. So let's start by converting a string into an integer. So we'll create a variable, let's call it my underscore string, and we'll set it equal to the string, which will contain a number, let's say 42. And now we can do print, and let's convert our string into an integer. So to do this, we can use the int function in Python. And we can provide an argument to it, which is our string variable, so we can pass our myString variable inside of it. And now if we save our code and then we run it, what that function will do is it will convert our string into an integer. So there we get 42. Now let's say our string, guys, contained an invalid number or integer. So let's put let's say hello inside of here. When we run our code, we will get an error. And that's because we can only make our string contain valid numbers when converting our string into an integer. Similarly, we can also convert a string into a decimal number or float data type in Python. So we'll create a variable, we'll call it my underscore string, and we'll set it equal to the string, let's say 32. So it contains the number 32. And now we'll do a print statement, and now we'll need to convert our string into a decimal or float data type. So to do this, we can use the float function in Python. And now we can pass in our string that we want to convert into a float data type. So we can type my underscore string which is our variable that contains our string. And now if we save our code, you'll realize that our string gets converted into a decimal or float data type. So we get 32.0 right there. Now let's change this to something else. Let's say negative 32. So if we save our code and we run it, you'll see we'll get negative 32.0. Now let's say we tried to put an invalid number inside of our string. So let's say I don't know, let's say test 1 2 3 4. Then we save our code and then we run it, we'll get an error. So we need to make sure that whatever string we're trying to convert is a valid number. We can also convert a float data type into a integer data type, vice versa. So let me show you guys. So we'll type print, and now let's say we wanted to convert a float or decimal number into a integer data type. So to do this, we can use the int function. So let's type in the decimal number we want to convert into an integer. So let's say 3.14. And if we save our code and then we run it, you'll realize we should get only 3. So it converted it to an integer. Now we can also do this for integers as well. So we could use the float function to convert an integer into a decimal number. So we could type 3 right here, and if we save our code and then we run it, you'll realize we get 3.0. So that is how we can use them interchangeably, the int and the float function. Alright guys, the last type conversion I want to show you is converting values into a Boolean data type. A Boolean data type is simply just a true or false value. So let's start with our first example. So we'll type print, and now to convert a value into a Boolean data type, guys, we can use the bool function in Python. So let's write the number 0 for our first example in our bool function. So when we save our code and then we run it, you'll realize we'll get false. Now why is that? That's because in general, guys, computers represent 0 as false while 1 means true. So let me prove this to you guys. So if we do print and then we write bool and then we pass in a value of 1 and then we save our code and then we run it, you'll see we'll get true. So for 0 we got false right here, and for 1 we got true. Now any number, we could put any number in here, but as long as it isn't 0, we will get true. So if we change 1 to 20 like we did right here, and then we save our code, then we run it, you'll see we'll get true right there. Similarly to all of these Boolean conversions that we did, guys, we can also convert a string value into a Boolean data type. So we can type print, and now we can use our bool function, and let's pass in an empty string. So notice this string is empty, guys. So because it is empty, Python will treat that as the value 0. So if we save our code and then we run it, you'll realize that we'll get false for our Boolean value. And that's because our string is empty. So if we do print now, and let's use it on another function, so we can type bool right here, and let's pass in another string. And let's pass in the string, let's say hello. And now if we save our code and then we run it, you'll realize we'll get true right here. And that's because our string is no longer empty. So let me show you guys one more example. So we can even do this on a float. So we can do bool, so print bool, and now let's pass in a float value, let's say 9.7, and if we save our code and then we run it, you'll see we'll get true down here. Yeah, and that is how we perform type conversion with the bool function or the Boolean data type. Alright, guys, and that is it. So, you all just learned about type conversion in Python. So, I hope you all learned something valuable. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Stay tuned. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next episode.